Dr. Haroon, and we continue the discussion from where we left yesterday. We said about the typomorphic textures, and typomorphic textures are further divided into various types. तो इसमें एक चीज़ आप लाजमी याद रखें, ये टर्म ब्लास्ट और ब्लास्टो जो टर्म है दैट इंडिकेट्स मेटामॉर्फिक ओरिजिन। ये जो रॉक होगी जिसमें ब्लास्टो या ब्लास्ट आपको नजर आए नेम में, तो इट मींस इट रेफर्स टू ए टेक्सचर जो टेक्सचर मेटामॉर्फिज्म के रिजल्ट में बना होगा, उसमें आपको ब्लास्ट की टर्म या ब्लास्टो समटाइम you will see this term time and again coming, and it refers to metamorphism. So don't get confused what is the meaning of blast, but it just means that the rocks was formed originally in metamorphic, and most of these metamorphic textures that you will see are result of either increase in temperature, pressure, or as we have said, can be result of the hydrothermal solutions. The first texture that we discussed yesterday was porphyroblast. Porphyroblast is just like we have the large crystals, and in the fine grain matrix, we call that texture as porphyroblast. Porphyry texture, आपको याद होगा, we studied the porphyritic texture in igneous rocks. So it is same. The porphyroblast is like we have larger crystals in fine grain matrix, and these crystals are called porphyroblasts. Granoblastic or granular texture, if you just cut the term plastic and try to understand, okay, granular texture, what does it mean? Oh yes, we have coarse grained crystals, and granoblastic means coarse grained crystals present in a metamorphic rock. So you can see that here are a lot of crystals, and these crystals are anhedral or subhedral, and they form a mosaic. Mosaic means arrangement of crystal that give you rise of a shape, and you can say that this is a quartzite. Quartzite is a rock that is result of metamorphism of sandstone. तो जब sandstone का metamorphism होगा तो quartzite बनेगा, और quartzite में because there is no foliation, there is no lineation, and as a result you will see the grains of quartz that are squeezed together. However, you can see that some of the crystals are they are compressed together. That is granoblastic. Then we have the granoblastic texture. How does it look like? It just shows you that fine or to coarse crystals. You can see that the crystals are engraved in other crystals, and as a result, the granular in metamorphism or granoblastic texture is the result. Normally, this type of texture is very evident of marbles and granulites, like the higher metamorphic facies, and that's how normally we identify a marble or a granulite facies. Similarly, you can also see that a granoblastic texture in which grains of CPX, the pyroxene, are present, and these grains, they show you a granular appearance, just like when you see a sedimentary rock with grains. Then comes porphyroblastic texture that we already have discussed a little bit. And porphyroblastic texture, as I said, it has larger crystals that are embedded in a fine grain matrix. We call it as porphyritic texture in igneous rocks and porphyroblastic texture in the metamorphic rock. And you can see that we have a large crystals of garnet that are actually present on the fine grain rock. It could be a schist, and in this garnet schist, we have the presence of these crystals. It can be ideoblastic, subideoblastic, depending if the crystals are euhedral. If the crystals are subhedral, then we call it subideoblastic. Like you can see that subhedral crystals having two faces or less than two faces, and if the faces increases, we come towards the euhedral crystal in which more faces are present. We call it as ideoblastic. Xenoblastic, in which the crystals are inhedral in shape and they don't have a preferred crystal face, we call it as xenoblastic or anhedral. Like you can see that some crystals that are present here, they don't have a preferred orientation, and as a result we call this texture as xenoblastic or inhedral. The next one is poikiloblastic. You remember we discussed the poikilotopic cement in sandstones, and also poikilotopic cement in igneous rocks. And here we have small grains of one or more mineral that lie within the larger porphyroblasts of another crystals. Like see, we have one big crystal, and in this big crystal you can see a variety of various minerals that are present. So that is the ground mass, the big crystal. We call it as poikiloblastic cement, and poikiloblastic cement is an indicator that we have a large crystal and smaller crystal that are embedded on it. The examples of poikiloblastic cements are tourmaline and mica schist. Here we have a tourmaline crystal, and we have smaller crystals that are grown on this tourmaline crystal. Let's see some of the poikiloblastic cements. And here you can see the large crystal that is at the background is actually the poikiloblastic cement, and you can see smaller porphyroblast cements that are present on it. And we can also call it as a sieve texture. जैसे you have seen that we discuss about the sieve is just like जो घर में आप चांदनी यूज करते हैं to just filter out एंड इवन कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट्स पे आपने देखा होगा कि रेत जो होती है आपकी सैंड, उसको उसमें से जो भी कोर्सर मटेरियल है उसको निकालने के लिए नॉर्मली दे यूज सीव. तो सीव के ऊपर अगर आप देखें तो इसी तरह निशानात होते हैं, जिस तरह के ये सिंबल्स आपको नजर आ रहे हैं. दी पॉइंट्स दैट यू सी आर दी phenocrysts or porphyroblasts, and the background crystal that you see is the poikiloblastic cement, or the we can also call it as a sieve texture. Okay, here you can also see a big crystal that we can call it as a poikiloblastic, and finer porphyroblasts, the porphyritic minerals on it. Then very interesting texture, we call it as corona texture, and maybe you guys know the name of corona these days, like the coronavirus. So corona actually means anything that has a crown on its head. So you can see that here we have a mineral, and it has a crown on its head. We call this type of, these are actually a rare type of texture in metamorphism, and it consists of grains of a new mineral that have formed a rim around a mineral that is no longer in its field of stability. Like it is a mineral, and then it has maybe dissolved part of it, and there is another mineral that grows on top of it and gives it the shape of a crown. That texture we call it as a corona texture. We have corona and or reaction rim cements. You can see that we have the uh, sapphire, and sylvanite, and then we have the orthopyroxene and quartz. And you can see that this particular mineral, it has bordered by a set of different minerals, and they shape like in the shape of a crown. crown, and it is actually the zone or reaction rim. Sometimes one mineral and the other mineral, then they are growing, or during metamorphism due to rise in temperature, they have a reaction. तो उनका reaction हो जाता है, जिसके result में we have a formation of a new mineral at the boundary between the already existing two minerals. Okay, similarly, you can see here another example of crown or corona uh, reaction rim cements that have formed at rim between two different minerals. Corona textures, another example of this texture, we have the olivine, orthopyroxene, and clinopyroxene on blend, and you can see that all of these minerals, they are arranged in the form of a rim or in the form of a crown around this mineral, and it is a very indicative type of texture, and it indicates specific temperature and pressure conditions. Yes, very important is the cataclastic texture. You know, during tectonics, we have the tectonic forces that are the plate, one of the plates is subducting another plate, and as a result of subduction, sometimes the pressure increases, and as the pressure is increased, the uh, the rocks sometimes they are sheared and crushed. This type of texture we call it as the cataclastic texture. The the nature of the original rock can still be organized and recognized. You can see that here are some of these rock pieces, and you can clearly see that they have some boundaries. These are not the bedding planes, but these are actually the tectonic boundaries. Because of the tectonics, this rock has been sheared and smeared into pieces. तो इसके छोटे छोटे pieces हो गए थे, and after that, due to the presence of high temperature and pressure, all these pieces were cemented, and then they form a rock. We call it as cataclastic. Clastic means broken, and kata means that it was formed in tectonic conditions. So tectonically broken rock, we call it as a cataclastic texture. And of course, it involves metamorphism. As you can see that some of the grains are recrystallized and they increase in size as a result of this uh, metamorphism. How they look like in thin section, you can see that there are some lines and some boundaries in these crystals as well, and they show some crystals that are broken down, and some of them like they are more granular, and you can see here some of the crystals like larger crystals, maybe quartz. As you can see, some of them they are extinct, and some of them they are still visible. Mylonite texture. The other texture that we have is the mylonite or myelonization. Myelonized, you can say that, excuse me, you can say that it is one of the texture that is the next stage of cataclastic texture. We call it as mylonite. Maybe you guys have studied it during your classes on metamorphism. Mylonite, in which we have the shearing, extreme shearing, stretching, and recrystallized grains, typically that are foliated and containing ovoid relic crystals. Let's see how it looks like. And yes, so we can see that it's a rock specimen, and in this rock specimen, you can say that we have some of the pieces that have been sheared, and you can see that some of the crystals they are entrapped in the layers. Similarly, you can see here some of the crystals that are entrapped in the layers, and they result into a texture. We call it as mylonite, and you can also recognize layering in this specimen that indicates a proper layering and proper showing proper deformation. They can be slightly sheared. We call it as protomylonite, and can be extremely sheared. We call it as ultramyelinite. As you can see here in this example, you can see large crystals of quartz that are entrapped in the layers, and some of these layers they are like still have some orientation, and as a result of this orientation we have the formation of certain crystals that are that were like obstacle during the formation of this myelinite, and you can see extreme shearing and stretching that is present in this particular rock. We call it as myelinite. Porphyroclast. The next term is porphyroclast. I think we discussed it a little bit yesterday, but it is nothing else than a large block, or it's like a big clast that has been broken, and it can have any shape depending. If it is broken, we call it as xenoblast, having no preferred orientation or crystal surface. Let's see the nodular texture we discussed also yesterday. It's like the result of growth of some porphyroblasts in association with corderite and scapolite, and you can see that they are formed in randomly arranged minerals, and they give you appreciation of a nodular texture. They looks like nodules. Agar aapne, if you have seen a nodular limestone in the field, you can see that they are like nodularity present. Similarly, in metamorphism, sometimes some crystals they can grow in oval shapes and impart a nodular texture. Then comes the mortar. Mortar is a process of metamorphism. As we have said, metamorphism can also increase the size of particular minerals in terms of decrystallization, but in sometimes it can also reduce the size. And in the reduction of the size, we can call it as mortar, and you can see that very fine grain matrix that is present here, and this type of deformation texture or grounding of larger crystals into finer crystals, we call that texture as mortar texture. Okay, we will take the class until here.